Nikola Jokic is forcing the NBA to have conversations about him once again. Conversations that were not being had not because of his talent, not because of his play, but because of the historical precedent behind it. Jokic is having an amazing start to this NBA season, averaging a triple-double. And as impressive as that was when Russell Westbrook did it, it might be even more impressive that Jokic is doing it and racking up all these assists as a center. He is one of the best passers we've ever seen, not just for the center position, but for any position. And he has really solidified himself in recent years, the last 5 years or so, as an elite all-time big man, especially by winning a championship. You have to have those conversations about Nikola Jokic because he consistently puts on a high level of statistics. And not only does he have good numbers, great numbers even, he contributes to winning. Even that season where the Nuggets were without Jamal Murray and MPJ for almost the entire season, Jokic was able to carry them on his back and lead them to a respectable record. I believe that was his first MVP season. And he won a championship, so he proves that, you can win with Nikola Jokic being the guy facilitating your offense. And when he was looking to three-peat for MVP, the question was, do we want this guy to be in the same ranks as guys like Larry Bird, just all-time greats? There's been very few that have won 3 straight MVPs. And ultimately went to Embiid because he was another very strong candidate who didn't have any voter fatigue in terms of all-time precedent. And then, obviously, it's a regular season award, but Jokic goes out and wins a championship that same season. And as a result, it becomes more acceptable to include him in those all-time ranks of guys like Larry Bird. And you can kind of see the vision of that and become more open to him winning a third MVP just as a result of him showing that his brand of basketball can win you a championship. Because an individual player can be super impressive, but they're not going to be an all-timer, truly, if they can't commit to winning, if they aren't able to win a championship, because that ultimately is the biggest goal in the entire NBA. And we've got all-timers who've won without rings, but generally when you're considering that major all-time great category, they have some championships behind them. So with Jokic going out and winning a championship, while he didn't win his third MVP straight, it set the precedent that he can hang with the big guys and the all-timers, and he would go on next season to win that MVP, making it his third officially. And this one kind of came by default. Joel Embiid was having a great start to the year and likely on track to win his second MVP if he kept up his pace of play. But Embiid would ultimately get injured, and all eyes from then on were on Nikola Jokic. And the fact that he was able to win that MVP was really impressive because of the fact that the expectations were simply that. They were for him to be the most valuable player in the league, especially now that Embiid is out. Because the prior year, it felt like a lot of people had the assumption that Joel Embiid kind of robbed that MVP away from Jokic. Jokic should have gotten his third straight. So now with Embiid injured the following season, all eyes were on Jokic to go out and win that third MVP. So anything he did that could be perceived as negative was going to be criticized. He had a spotlight on him the entire season, and he was able to live up to it, lead Denver to a top record in the West, and win his third MVP in 4 years, something we hardly ever see. And now, the idea going into this season was that the MVP might be more of a two-man race between 2 point guards, Luka and Shea, just because Jokic has already won 3 in 4 years. Is he really going to be able to take his game to another level and win 4 and 5? But he absolutely has done that. His production this season in the 3 major box score categories of points, boards, and assists, it is higher right now, and it's inflated a little bit due to the start of the season most likely. But his statistics right now are higher than some players' career highs in just that one singular production category. Like you look at assists, the amount of assists per game he's averaging right now is higher than Chris Paul ever has. And Chris Paul is one of the greatest point guards of all time. Nikola Jokic has become undeniable. Every time you set a limit, every time you have a restriction saying, oh, he can't do this, so to deny him out of winning an MVP, out of being in all-time discussions, he goes out and becomes an even better player somehow. Nikola Jokic is doing it again. He could well be on his way to winning his fourth MVP in 5 years. And it might be a close race. Anthony Davis looks really good. I expect Luka and Shea to be a little bit better and be in conversations more around season end. Jason Tatum looks pretty good. But at the end of the day, even having these discussions for Jokic to still be a front runner after all this voter fatigue, it's crazy. And just with his play on the court and all that he does and the way he contributes to winning, the way that his style of play, you can really see how it affects the game. And it's not just empty stats whatsoever. He's doing everything he can, night in, night out, to lead the Nuggets to victory, to give them any chance. Nikola Jokic has become undeniable. Nikola Jokic has turned around against every obstacle that has been put forth and made it past it. And Nikola Jokic is doing it all over again, really putting himself in the conversation for all-time great bigs. To even be in discussions of winning your fourth MVP in 5 years, that is insane.